On Christmas morning, Samantha sits quietly, questioning everything: her choices, their future, and whether her children are truly happy. The day feels heavy, the joy of the season missing. Then, a knock at the door breaks the silence. A mysterious package sits on the doorstep, its contents so unexpected and thoughtful that it brings her to tears. Christmas Day was bitterly cold. The sky was gray and unrelenting, a perfect reflection of how I felt inside. The old, second-hand tree artificial Christmas stood in the corner of our living room, its sparse branches weighed down by mismatched ornaments and a single string of flickering lights. My daughters, 5-year-old triplets, Anna, Bella, and Kara, sat cross-legged on the threadbare carpet, scribbling in dollar store coloring books I had managed to buy for the girls. Their giggles and chatter brought a warmth I couldn't quite feel myself. Before we continue, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and click the notification bell for more amazing stories. "Look, Mama," Anna said, holding up her page. She had colored a horse bright purple, giving it giant, floppy wings. "That's beautiful, sweetheart," I said, smiling through the lump in my throat. It was supposed to be a season of magic, but there wasn't much magic left in our lives. And it broke my heart in ways that I couldn't explain. I had chosen to be their mother, and giving them joy shouldn't be this difficult. Chad, my girl's father and my ex-husband, had left 6 months ago, moving to Canada with his new girlfriend. His departure drained not just our bank account, but the foundation of the life we'd built. To make it even worse, the child support payments trickled in sporadically, and my savings were nearly gone. This Christmas, the best I could manage was keeping the heat on and giving my girls something to unwrap. For our Christmas dinner, I could only do roast chicken and mashed potatoes for the girls. That was it. Still, their laughter was enough to keep me going. Then, the doorbell rang. Who on earth could that be? I muttered, wrapping my shawl tighter around my shoulders. We didn't have visitors, not friends or family. I peered out of the front window, but saw no one. "Who is it, Mama?" Kara asked. "Not sure, baby," I said. "But let's see." When I opened the door, the street was empty. The wind bit at my face, but there, on the doorstep, sat a large box. It was wrapped in shimmering red paper with a perfect green bow on top. I froze, scanning the street again. Nothing. No footsteps in the snow, no car pulling away. "Mama, is it for us?" Anna called, her sisters rushing to peek around me. "I don't know, baby," I said, bending to lift it. The box was heavier than it looked, but it was small. The girls gathered around like it was treasure. "Can we open it? Please?" Bella begged, bouncing on her toes. "Let's see what's inside," I said, though my heart pounded with unease. Who would leave us something like that? The wrapping came off easily as I squatted on the floor while Kara hummed Christmas carols under her breath. The ribbon fell away with a single pull, and as I peeled back the layers of tape and cardboard, my breath caught in my throat. Inside the box were 2 stacks of cash, dozens of chocolates and biscuits, and Christmas stockings. Neatly bundled bills filled the stacks. They were crisp and tightly packed. Sitting on top was a plain white envelope with my name on it. "Mama, why are you crying?" Kara asked, tugging on my sleeve. "Did you get hurt?" "No, baby," I said. "Mama is okay." But I wasn't. I hadn't even realized that I was crying. I didn't know where the box had come from, but the content meant luxuries for my girls, and that was everything to me. The girls could eat their way through chocolates and see what on earth was stuffed in the Christmas stockings. All I wanted was to spoil my babies. My hands shook as I reached for the envelope, tearing it open with trembling fingers. dear Samantha. This might feel strange, but please understand, this comes from a place of gratitude. Years ago, you helped a stranger, a young woman lost and desperate, by offering her a warm meal and a place to stay for one night. You didn't know it at the time, but that kindness saved my life. I was that young woman. I've never forgotten what you did, even as my life changed for the better. Now, I want to repay you in a way that can make a difference for you and your beautiful children. Inside this box is enough money to help you start fresh. I know you have triplets. There are 2 stacks of money, but there's also a check for a lot more. Cash it in. Let it help you breathe. You taught me the power of kindness. Now, it's my turn to pass it on. Merry Christmas. A friend. I covered my mouth as a sob escaped. The girls stared at me, their wide, curious eyes full of concern. Mama, are you okay? Bella asked. I pulled them close, wrapping my arms around all 3 of them. Yes, baby girls, I'm okay, I exclaimed. I'm so much more than okay. The money sat on the table for hours as I stared at it, trying to process what had just happened. The practical and realistic part of me wondered if it could be real. Even worse, it could be some kind of trap. Who had this much cash to just give someone else? How about some chocolate, babies? I asked the girls, giving them a chocolate each. Go on, eat your chocolate and continue coloring. Mama's going to clean up the kitchen and I'll be right back. I was washing the dishes when the memory struck me. Lisa. Her name had been Lisa. I remembered her clearly now, even though years had dulled the memory. She had been just a teenager when she knocked on my door one stormy night. Rain had soaked her to the bone, and her eyes were swollen from crying. All she'd asked for was something to eat, but I hadn't been able to send her back into the storm. Instead, she spent the night on our couch, wrapped in an old blanket. In the morning, she was gone, leaving behind only a napkin with "thank you" scrawled on it. I hadn't thought about her in years. I mean, why would I? It was just a night with a random stranger, and I offered her some kindness. That was it. She was a sweet girl who needed help and someone to listen. And a good meal and a cup of tea. That was all. Until now. Had Lisa been watching us? How else did she know about my daughters? If she hadn't been so lovely, I would have been afraid. But this would change everything. The next day, I took one of the stacks of money and the check to the bank. They confirmed that the bills were legitimate and the check was real, and I asked to speak with a financial advisor. If this gift was real, if it was truly a chance to start over, I wanted to do it the right way. I paid off our debts first. The weight of overdue bills and looming threats melted away as I signed the final check. Then I focused on the house, fixing the broken furnace, patching the leaks, replacing the warped floorboards, and redoing the central heating. And then, finally, I dared to dream. For years, I wanted to start a baking business. I've always loved baking, from pies, tarts, cookies, and cakes to muffins and scones. But life had never given me the chance to pursue it. Now, I had the resources to take that leap. I used the remaining money to buy second-hand equipment and convert my kitchen into a workspace. Within months, Samantha's Sweets was born. It wasn't easy. I worked long hours, often collapsing into bed after midnight. But I loved every minute of it. Orders poured in from neighbors and local businesses, and before long, I had to hire a part-time assistant to keep up. My girls watched it all unfold, their little faces glowing with pride every time they saw my logo on a box. "Mama, you're happy now?" Anna asked as she picked up a cookie one evening. I had wanted to spend some time with the three of them, and so we were decorating cookies and chatting about school. "Of course, my darling. Are you? All three of you?" I asked, mixing a bowl of green frosting. "Yes," Bella said, sticking her finger into a bowl of blue frosting. "I like that you're home more, Mama," Kara said. "When we come home, you're here and baking. Not at the office." That made my heart swell, because when I gave up my desk job to take on baking full-time, I didn't know if I was making a mistake. Every Christmas since that day, we've made it a tradition to give back. The girls and I bake cookies, wrap them, add colorful ribbons, and deliver them to families in need. We usually leave them on doorsteps, like how we'd found Lisa's gift on our steps. "You never know how far one kind act can go, girls," I tell them every year. And they believe me. Binding bonds through beautiful tales. Thank you for watching.